This one limiting belief cost me $160,000, and I'm gonna tell you exactly what it is and why your self-limiting beliefs are holding you back more than anything else in the business. I'm gonna tell you a bit of a story. Back in February, I'm running my agency. We're doing 30, 40K a month, right? Not massive numbers, but we're doing okay. I work in the construction niche. I had convinced myself that it's not possible to hit 300K. I was already looking at different business ideas on how to hit 300K. I said, there's no way I can hit those numbers. I was like, the market's not big enough. It's construction. How many guys actually want to scale? These guys don't want to actually grow their business. They don't have the right mindset for it or whatever it was. And I kept telling myself that. And for months and months and months, I was stuck at that 30 to 40K because that's just what I believed was possible. That is what I'd created in my head. That was the identity. I said, that's what I can do. And it wasn't until I met a guy, the end of February, I'm in a cafe and I meet a guy who does SEO. And I asked him what industry he's in, and he said he's in construction and he's doing $300,000 a month. And it was in that moment that everything changed. And we went from 40K to 170K in 1 month. In 1 month. Now, yes, there was a few other things that we implemented, right? Yes, you had to do a new system. Yes, you had to do more ads and output and different things. But first, before you can do that, you have to remove the self-limiting belief. I get it every day. I hear it every single day. The guys that I work with, they go, well, when I'm presenting my price and my quote, I flinch because I think the price is expensive. That's a self-limiting belief. If I get on a call with someone and my package is 10K and they turn around at the start of the call and say they've already been quoted 1K, I don't let that self-limiting belief get in the way and affect how I present my presentation. I don't change the way I speak now because that person's told me where their standard's at. I don't get doubt in my mind and go, well, this person's not going to pay because they've already said they've been quoted $1,000 and I'm $10,000. So why would they choose me if I'm $10,000? I don't do that. I ignore that. And that is why self-limiting beliefs are holding you back, because our brain will not create opportunities that it doesn't believe is possible. If you haven't accepted that it's possible in your mind, you won't find the solution, right? You will never be able to find an outcome until you know there is an outcome. The moment you know and believe and accept by faith that there is an outcome, your brain starts to work in a magical way. All of a sudden, you start to become resourceful. And now you figure out exactly how to get there. So we need to hit self-limiting beliefs on the head. It is holding you back. It is the most important thing right now that you need to fix in your business, not a system, not a new ad, not a new creative. It's your belief system of what you think is possible. Why isn't it possible? Why isn't it possible to do 100K a month? Why can't you do 200K a month? Why can't you do 300K a month? Why not? Give me an answer. There's no such thing as your market isn't right. There's no such thing that you're in a small market. Riches are in the niches. People make millions selling the smallest thing ever, solving the smallest problem for the smallest market. You don't even know the market exists, and they're making millions of dollars from it. Any of you who are watching this video, you're in an industry right now where you can hit these goals, but we're letting self-limiting beliefs get in the way. And who puts those self-limiting beliefs in us? Family, friends, your parents. When you tell your parents your goals, if you're young and you still maybe live at home and you say to your mum and dad, I want to make 50K a month, I want to make 100K a month, and they've only ever known of making that per year, how are they going to believe that? Of course they're not going to believe that. If someone's only ever made $100,000 a year, how can they possibly believe that you can do that in 1 month? Of course they're going to put doubt into it. On top of that, they don't want to see you win. People don't want to see you hit these goals. So they're going to feed you with their lies that they tell themselves, right? The excuses that we create in our own mind to validate why we haven't achieved our goals. And when you're surrounded by those toxic people, they're implanting them into your mind every single day. And that's why you have these self-limiting beliefs and you don't even realize it. And you're wondering, why don't I believe in myself? Why don't I believe it's possible? Because the people you're around. You're telling your goals to the wrong people. You can't tell your goals to people that think down here. You can't tell your goals to small-minded people. They're never going to understand. So how do we fix this? How do we fix a self-limiting belief? How do we hit it on the head once and for all? It is who we surround ourselves with. If I'm around 5 blokes and they all believe in themselves and they're all doing big numbers and they believe they're strong, they believe they can fight, they believe they can communicate, they believe they can make millions of dollars, I'm going to believe that because that is who I'm surrounded with. But if I'm around people who just believe that the world's against them and that they're not lucky, that success isn't for them, then that's what I'm going to believe. So the way we fix this is by fixing who we're around. What type of content are we watching? Who are we consuming? Because there's a bunch of negative people on social media right now that calls out all of you entrepreneurs. Anyone who's trying to do a course, you're getting called out by millions of people online, getting told you're a scam, it's fake, all of these things, by the people that can't achieve those goals. Are we consuming that content? Or are we consuming a content that aligns with who we are and where we want to be? When you're watching stuff, it is hypnotizing you. When you're watching a reel, it's hypnotizing you. We think hypnotizing is getting a string and going like that. It's not. No, it's not. Hypnotic stuff is going into your subconscious mind because you're not thinking. And that's what happens when you're on reels and you're scrolling on TikTok and Instagram. I mean, the algorithm's programmed to make you dumb and stupid and not believe in yourself. So be careful of what you consume. Be careful of who you listen to. Be careful of who you go to advice for. You should never take advice from a human being that has not accomplished the thing that you're trying to accomplish. I'm never going to go to a fat person and ask him how to lose weight. I'm never going to ask a broke person how to make money. I'm never going to do that. He hasn't done that. There's no possible way he knows how. I'm never going to listen to the opinion of that person. Even a doctor. If I go to an overweight doctor and he tells me what to do for my health, I'm not going to listen to him because his body doesn't represent health. So when we're thinking of who to listen to, when we're aligning our belief system with someone else, we need to look at the person and go, do they have the qualities of what I want? Is that person living how I want to live? If they are, we listen to them. We reprogram the way we think. It all starts with our mindset. You can control your thoughts, right? But if you don't control your thoughts, then the thoughts go crazy and rampant because we're not even conscious of our thoughts. Most of the things we think, we don't even know we're thinking, right? So we're thinking these old thoughts, these old thought patterns, because that's the pathway you've created in your brain, and they're holding you back. So you need to start repeating better things to yourself. I can win. I can succeed. I can make 200K a month. I can be fit. I can be strong. I will be strong. I will achieve my goals. Repeat it over and over and over again, because what happens? Every time you do that, every time you think that new thought, your brain creates that connection. And then when you do it again, it strengthens it. And then when you do it again, it strengthens it. And now all of a sudden, your brain has new ways of thinking. And now it looks for information that's equal to what it's already thinking. Because you've reprogrammed your brain to think for success. And now your brain looks for things that validate that. It all starts up here. It all starts with who we're around. Surround yourself with winners. Surround yourself with believers, with positive people. Be cautious of the content you consume. The biggest pandemic, the biggest drug epidemic that we're facing right now is social media. It's not heroin. Social media is killing people. The reels are killing people, right? Because we don't know what we're getting hit with. We don't know what we're getting programmed. You have to be onto this stuff. You have to stay on top of this stuff because you'll never get anywhere unless you believe it's possible. You will never achieve a single goal before you believe that you can do it. So it all starts up here. Thank you for watching. Think positive. Stay around good people. Consume good content from people that have done what you want to do and buy into what they're doing.